tells you about the name Chatham Square. Earl of Chatham was William Pitt, so this is a British relic, the name of this square. But also, it's about 12 streets coming into one intersection. Not exactly designed for the automobile. It's obviously cowpaths and small roads that, you know, from the colonial period that have survived. And they've even tried to fix it up a little bit. They've restricted some of the access, but it's still a traffic nightmare. A couple landmarks to point out. You see those tall brown buildings above there? That's some of New York's first public housing, 1949, named the Alfred E. Smith Houses. Who knows who Alfred E. Smith was? He was born in this neighborhood to mostly an Irish background. Grew up in a tenement just behind actually just around the corner from this red brick building. When he was in 6th grade, his dad died, so he had to quit school and go to work at the Fulton Fish Market, which was just a few blocks away. He always said, "I got my, you know, his degree and his educational degree was an FFM, the Fulton Fish Market." Worked his way, you know, he was a hard worker. He was also a great actor, a great speaker, and eventually got into politics. 1903, he's elected to the State Assembly. Turns out to be a great reformer. Some of you mentioned the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire. That's 1911. He and a guy named Robert Wagner, later a U.S. Senator, later author of the Wagner Act in the 1930s, a great labor law reform. The two of them chair a factory safety investigation commission after the Triangle Fire that killed 146 women just like a mile north of here. And that's really where Al Smith kind of made his name as a man of the people, working class representative, and a guy that pioneered social legislation. In 1918, he was elected governor of New York, the first Irish Catholic governor of the state of New York. Got re-elected 3 more times, and in 1928 he ran for president as a Democratic nominee. Got demolished by Herbert Hoover. Nobody was going to beat Herbert Hoover in that year, but an amazing story from the streets of New York, one step short of the White House.
And they named the project after him?
They named the project after him, and New York has, well, this is a good point. New York has the most public housing in the United States and the best public housing in the United States. Not great public housing, but by far the best. How many public housing buildings in New York City have ever been torn down? 0. None. You see it all the time, right? Cabrini Green in Chicago and Columbus houses out in Newark. They build, some of these projects last 20 years, and then they just blow them up because they're hopeless. These are built 1949, still full of families. I mean, they're not perfect, but New York has done public housing is better than any other city, and there's more people in it, almost like 700,000 to 800,000 people. Okay, so we're gonna head up this way.